Today I will go through all the stuff and gear I use to play guitar at home and to create my own music. This is a real minimalist home studio, but this will show you how little stuff you really need.
Just little stuff, silly stuff.
To get started to create your own music today. So it's in here all the magic happens. It's a very small space. And you can see here they have a desk on the right hand side with the old computer, my nice paintings, 3 guitars, which you have probably seen in my videos before. An Epiphone Les Paul, you can see here. The green was the element. And here I have my paintings from this plate. Yeah, real nice. This is my favorite. It's so nice in gold. And this is my Schecter guitar. These are my headphones. They are called studio headphones. They are Behringer, I think, and they feel really, really nice. Mostly because they are so easy on my ears. And all my furniture here are actually IKEA, so are pretty cheap, but they do the job just fine. It's a good way just to elevate my monitors. I would really like to have them a little bit higher, so my keyboard or my MIDI controller will fit under that, but still they are very, very useful. And here they also have my favorite show of all time, Stargate SG-1, the best show ever. And this is my first pedal. I'm not a pedal guy, but it's nice to have a good tuner, very easy to use, and it's good to have even if you don't have a analog rig. It's nice to have before you plug into your computer as well. And it feels very, very like sturdy, so it's this will probably hold it together longer than I will. Here you can see my little stack with tech. Actually the bottom one is my old audio interface, the Steinberg URC22, but last year I bought the Volt 1 after some very good reviews. I like it very much. It was part of my effort to remove the background hiss. It works okay. The sound quality wasn't that much of a difference. If you blind test me, I will probably not notice the difference, but it looks great and feels great. It feels very high quality. And above I have my Harley Benton Extreme Metal pedal. A review of that will come later. Also have this little light here, also from IKEA, not sponsored by IKEA. And I know I'm a Swede, so this is probably like very easy to make fun of me, but I actually live like 5 minutes from a big IKEA store, so it's very, very practical for me to buy stuff there, and are very, very cheap for what you get. And this little ring light I can use both when I work at home and for videos and other stuff. And please ignore my really, really disgusting and old monitors.
I'm not gonna lie to you, they look disgusting.
So, and that's that. So as you can see, you really don't need so much stuff to actually make music at home. But the difference maybe from a analog studio is that I have everything else on my computer. So I will go through all the stuff I use almost daily to create music and just, play guitar. As a DAW, I use Reaper, but the great thing about Reaper is that you have a host of free plugins. So if you go on the developers and press Cocos, what a name. Here we have all plugins which are included into the DAW. So if you need a compression, equalizer, a gate, something like that, everything is free and included in the package, which is great. And it works just fine. I actually bought some product from FabFilter. They are not so cheap, but I really, really like their interface. But honestly, I wouldn't hear any difference from something produced from those. You compare to Reaper's native solutions, but they look great and are very, very pleasant to work with when you create your music. So as you can hear, it's very, very visually pleasing to work on, and very, very easy to see which frequencies are high or low, where you want to boost and so on. So the C2 is the compressor, the Pro G is the gate, and here we have your multiband compressor, probably the one who looks the greatest in my opinion. And you also have, if you want to have one single band compressor, single band equalizer, you can use Pro Q3. So they're very, very easy to use as a beginner. It's very easy to see what you're doing and where you should make any adjustment to. But as I said before, you have the same functionality native in Reaper, which are for free, which is great. For IR, I mostly use from Get Good Drums, Kali. They have a host of different factory presets, and I honestly just use the presets. So when I make a sound, I circle through them and see what I think sounds the best. Let me know in the comments below if you want a walkthrough or a guide on how to do that, and how to combine them with newer DSP plugins. We also use Kontakt plugin. In the Kontakt plugin I have my bass plugins and also a drum plugin. The Gin Bass is probably the one I use mostly for metal, and the Rickenbacker is for everything else. So I think it sounds great, but for me it wasn't really straightforward to use a bass plugin. But after you get the grip on it, it's very efficient to program bass into your tracks. And then the one I use the most is of course the newer DSP plugins. I bought Nolly first, and I used for maybe a year, but after that I maybe got it crazy and bought a pack with all the archetype plugins. But mostly I use the Petrucci and Gojira plugins. However, my first plugin was actually from Positive Grid and Bias FX. And as a beginner, I think that's also maybe a good suggestion if you want to have a paid plugin which can cover a lot of ground, because it's very easy to copy a tone here. If you have an artist you want to sound like, you can search for that in the library, and in most cases someone has made a tone similar to that artist. So that is pretty fun to play around with. And then for all my synth and keyboard sounds, and piano sounds and everything in between, I use Nexus. We see like a million different sounds and effects. I used a couple of them, but it also is very, very fun to use, especially when you combine that with a MIDI keyboard. Spitfire Audio is for if you want some string sounds or a cello or violin or some sounds like that. This is actually free, which is great. Also very intuitive and easy on the eyes to use, which I like. They're very clean looking. The last one is Toontrack, which is most of my drums. Nowadays I use the EasyDrummer. So it's also very easy to use and have great presets. And as a bonus, all my videos I create on YouTube, I use DaVinci Resolve for, and I maybe use 1% of all the functionality, but it's easy enough for a beginner to use. And I can see that the more experience you get, it's a very good program to grow with. And also this is free, which is incredible actually. So if you come this far in the video, you're probably very interested in digital gear. And if you want to see, does it really matter what kind of audio interface you use when you plug into your guitar into your computer, watch this video next.